So the Buffalo Bills, Miami Dolphins. My thoughts and my takes. As a Bills fan, they're 3-0, and should I be running around in a circle? Should have lost to Baltimore. Beat a Jets team that was kind of like if you can go back in time, think about Larry Holmes versus Marvis Frazier. It was like a heavyweight against someone who just who had the way made the weight, but they got knocked in their butt and they really didn't belong. And then that game last night. Oh, Miami. Tua can, who, sad to say, probably has more concussions than he does wins. Sad to say. And then old Josh Napoleon Dynamite McDonald, the head coach of the Dolphins, who's any day now will get fried. But I don't feel bad. Let me tell you something. As a long-term Bills fan, yes, I loathe Miami, but that's got more to do with Shula because they used to tear the Bills behind up. You got to be of a certain age and a certain time to understand what I'm talking about with that because you ain't seen this fish fry ever. And Tyreek Hill, even though KC is 0-2, Kansas City is 0-2, still is 2 games better than your 0-3 because you suck. And them days when you were plotting and planning where you're going to spend your January and February and getting your fingers fitted for some jewelry, right by now, you're in the old folks' home and you're relying on South Beach, but not your early retirement plan is coming. And we know that they might be in the Arch Manning sweepstakes. Don't be surprised if they tank. And we don't even want to talk about that bigot on to Stephen Ross and that lawsuit with Brian Flores. We're going to stick to the field. And the reason why I'm kind of like, yeah, the Bills are 3-0, but it's a suspect 3 because they still really don't defend that well. They really don't. If Tua had an ounce of maybe I'll kind of slow myself down. One thing I like about Tua, and this might make the people in the know who know me, well, I never played fantasy football, but I always said there's certain quarterbacks, they're my fantasy quarterbacks. He's one of them because the ball never touches the ground. He gonna hit the other team, the referee, the ball boy. That ball never he hits the ground, the ball never does. Two always gonna throw the ball to somebody except for the right team. That's the difference in the game was a couple mistakes. They were right there with the Bills. Josh Allen did well enough. They out here making it sound like, oh, he can see all court vision. Like they're gonna make him like he's Magic Johnson, Steph Curry-ish, Jordan Light, whoever you want to throw in basketball. They say, oh, no. He not making mistakes, but they're not exactly winning games where you're going, wow. They look like a team that's fortunate. Aside from that Jet game, they're not really world beaters. They leave a lot of plays on the field. James Cook need to be running more. They pay him the money, let him run. You need to do things because the time of possession was close. You shouldn't be struggling with a dolphin, the fish. I tell people before the season started, New England, the Jets should be battling for the bottom. There is the problem. I'm going to tell you another problem, too. I need some competition. The AFC East is garbage. So we're so far ahead that it looked like, okay, yeah, but are we really that good? Because you do need competition. And right now, maybe when we play down the road, just looking at some teams, I don't know who we got on the schedule that's going to be a real threat if we play our game. But the thing is, this is really it for obviously Sean McDermott. This your year. Because if you don't go to Super Bowl this year, your butt should get fired. I know Milano and Ed Oliver wasn't there, but you still can't you can't play like that. They haven't really showed me much on defense. That's why I'm looking forward to actually that first loss, to how they regroup and they start turning the ball over. See, trying to play picture perfect and do this methodical ways of playing, but it doesn't really feel like a 3-0 team. It feels like a team that, maybe they had lost that game and got spanked by Baltimore. I would have been interested in how they fight back. Because I think they need some kind of slip up to get better. I don't have no problem with them. I'm glad they winning. But I'm looking at them and thinking, are they that good? How will this? Because I don't feel that kind of thing, I don't feel that kind of thing. And when it comes into view, then I will. Obviously, I believe they're going to go to Super Bowl. And they, now I think they can go all the way. But that's a long way away. But they first of all, you can give them the AFC East flag on the pole because them sorry teams, the Jets, the Patriots, the Dolphins, if them turkeys combine, let's see what, New England got 1 win. Miami got, they suck. You might have a combined 8, 9 wins combined. Them teams, it's really well. And I wanted to count the way New England made it count against us. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no just token SE's titles or this. Make it count. Get that chip. But they got to improve better on defense, and they got to run the ball and balance the game out more. You supposed to put scrub teams to bed, and they don't. And this methodical way of just kind of like pacing and whatnot, don't give nobody, like, even Tua might wake up. But I'm gonna tell you something. As long as Napoleon Dynamite is the coach of the fish, they cooked and fried. It don't even time he get fired. He usually didn't do his gag job until it gets cold months, because Miami can't play outside in the cold past December 1st. They're allergic, and that's what now they stinking it up early. But I'm looking at the opponent we played. And like I said, even when we beat Baltimore, I still said the Bills were flawed, and Baltimore flawed too. So that might be the makings, but I just think that when you play against a team that hit you in your mouth, you're gonna wonder, well, are we as good as we think we are? And we're gonna find out as the weeks go on, and hopefully there's no injuries, nothing like that. But yeah, Josh is arguably maybe the best quarterback going today. He's in that argument and all that, but that's not what you want. You want your team to be tip-top shape. You want your team to leave nothing for chance and take out a lame duck when you got a lame duck standing in front of you. Don't be getting into the late game, fourth. This ain't like the 13th game of the season. It's third game of the season. And yes, I'm spoiled by the Niners. And people can say, oh, you're on for a Super. That's all right. Jim Kelly and company now was smashing whack teams. And then maybe week 13, 14, you kind of had that slip, or you played close. You was tearing booties up early. They just seem too stagnant, too trying to play too polished. And I think that's problematic. And they still have to figure out a way to impose their will against real teams. The Jets don't count. And it shouldn't have counted with Miami. Yeah, I said 14-point win, but that wasn't really a 10-point game. That was more like a 4-point game that they won. They got to be watch out for that. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share the video if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.